If you follow me on Facebook, then you've probably noticed that I've stopped badgering you for money. Well, not really giving me money, but donating money to the MS Society, which can only mean that we've recently ridden in the MS Chesapeake Challenge. And instead of giving you just a regular ride video like I've done in the past, I thought we'd talk to Christina, since this was her first time riding the Chesapeake Challenge. Not only was it the first time riding the challenge, but for someone who has ridden for how long?
Less than a year.
Less than a year, and we've gone on maybe how many rides?
Less than 10.
And these rides ranged anywhere from about 10 miles to
the ice cream shop.
To the ice cream shop and things like that.
And up to 55 miles.
55 miles. And so
was my training for the Chesapeake Challenge.
So let's really paint the picture. Last year, at the time of the MS ride, her leg was in a leg brace because she had knee surgery. So she went from that to a year later, starting to ride and doing the 150 miles.
I like a challenge.
You like a Chesapeake Challenge? Yeah, that'll probably get cut out. It probably won't. Why did you start riding?
So, as you know, like I started riding because you badgered me to do it. So, one, two, for cross training for roller derby. So I've been playing roller derby for 5, 6 years, and looking for some cross training to really help up my game. And cycling is a leg sport, so I went ahead and gave it a shot. What did we do? I rode one of your old bikes that was too big for me down to the ice cream shop and back, and I felt good. It felt like it would really benefit. So kind of all downhill from there. Lots of uphills, but mostly downhill. Then I got my own bike and my own shorts and my own shoes that clip in and are fancy, and you know, the whole nine.
Why did you want to make the jump from 54, 55 miles to 100 miles? Easy little jump.
Well, for starters, I really didn't see it as a jump.
Okay.
Doesn't really seem that big of a deal to go from 55 to 100 when you say it and you're not a cyclist and you really don't know. There's century rides all over the place. It seems like that's what people do. I was doing 55 miles pretty comfortably. Didn't feel sore the next day, so it seemed like a good idea at the time.
So let's talk about the ride. Day one.
First day, first time going on a long ride. It was nice. It was nice countryside. It was beautiful. It was nice seeing a part of Maryland that I've not seen before. So that's one thing I really enjoyed about cycling since I've started is seeing parts of the area from a perspective I've never seen before. Because usually I'm either 60 miles an hour down the road and everything is just blur, or we're walking around from a metro 2 blocks down to a restaurant. So you only see small pieces. Where on a bike ride, you get to see whole sections of the city or multiple cities from a slow perspective where you can actually absorb everything that you're seeing. So that I really like about cycling. Like that's been the best part. And now I'm getting my kids into it.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a family thing. I went at my own pace because I knew I was going 100 miles and I wasn't gonna burn it out in the first 50.
We kind of limped in a little bit to the lunch area, and at that point you were...
I was still at lunch. I was debating, I was calculating how long it took us to get there to 50. And I knew if we went that same speed for the next 50, we were gonna barely get back in time to eat Mission Barbecue, which is, I mean, you can't miss Mission Barbecue. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, that was important to make it back in time that there was still food. So I was debating whether or not to just go ahead and just head back or finish it. They had lots of good snacks there, peanut butter and stuff at all the stops. And so we just, at all the rest stops, I just ate peanut butter. And that
You didn't do
helps.
any pickle juice?
No, I totally did not do pickle juice. As tempting as that sounds. Maybe someday I'll be pro and I'll just chug the pickle juice. That day has not come yet.
You still got a little time.
So yeah, I mean, less than a year. I'm still
Yeah.
totally an amateur. So, but it was nice. So we got it past the ferry. We made it to the split, and our friends went the 60s, and we continued on. And then it got weird because then we switched to gravel. Remember?
There was a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So hey, welcome to your 100-mile ride, gravel. So that was a surprise.
And so it wasn't completely. It wasn't like an off-road gravel, but
Right.
it was asphalt, but a nice layer of gravel on top of it.
I would have rather done the gravel on the 50-mile day than the 100-mile day. I was feeling it in my joints, a lot of just the road vibration. But they had nice rest stops. So we had to wait the longest to finish that whole loop, and that was 20 miles.
Yeah, there was a long break between
ride before rest stops. But then we got to really know the rest stop crews because I was going so slow that we were the last.
We were the last customers.
Yeah, the last group through each, the last people through each rest stop. So the rest stop crew would pack up a rest stop, get it into the big truck, and then go to the next rest stop, wait for us. We'd come through and get our snacks, chit chat, and they would pack up the rest stop. It was like 4 or 5 rest stops that we closed down.
I could just see on your face how you were kind of done with a lot of things. And so I tried chatting with her about just random things, fun things, whatever. And it started off all right, but then it just...
Didn't.
She was just like, I'm riding.
I was in my zone.
And she just...
I was numb.
Yeah. She just wasn't hearing any of it, and it was just, I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish it. So I tried to distract her a little bit, but it just didn't wanna work. And then, there I am, riding along, and I see a raccoon chewing on a beer can. And I was like, oh. And that startled the drunk raccoon, who then hissed and lunged in between our bikes.
He made an attempt.
So
I tried to get away from him and somehow clipped your back tire.
Yeah.
The bike and I just went down and met the ground rapidly, violently. That was not fun.
No.
Then the raccoon takes off down the road and he goes down to the intersection. I don't know if you saw that. He's down at the intersection, looking back at us, kind of like twisted, and his head's kind of sideways. He looks possessed a little, and he's just hissing and yelling. And
he's afraid we're going to drink his or eat his beer can.
Yeah, he was pretty upset that we interrupted his binge, I think.
I think so. So I get over to her, and everybody just kind of pauses for a second.
Yep.
And then she looks at me, and she's only been on the bike for less than a year. She's got her own bike, and the first thing she says, as a true cyclist, is, "Can you check to make sure my bike isn't broken?"
Is my bike okay?
Yeah, is my bike okay?
In all fairness, I'd already done a self-assessment. I scraped my knee, I bruised my other knee.
Took a chunk out of your hand.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I
true.
knew that my hands hurt, but nothing was broken or
Poking through the skin.
Poking through the skin. So I knew that I was mostly okay. But I didn't really feel like moving yet to check on my bike, and I also really didn't feel like I was expert enough to determine if it was okay. So,
is the bike
ask
okay?
The expert, is my bike okay?
So for her first bike t-shirt, I think she needs to have one.
Is my bike okay?
Where it's printed upside down. Is my bike okay?
Ha ha. Ha.
Yeah. Checked the bike out, checked her out. SAG was saying, hey, do you want medical? We're gonna keep the medical at the next rest stop. What do you need? What do you need? She's like, nope, I just wanna keep going.
So off we went, and I had an amazing adrenaline rush. We went from 10 miles an hour to 18 miles an hour. 17 miles an hour, so we really picked up the pace.
Yeah. That lasted for a little while.
Yeah, that did. That lasted for quite a while. But, funny story, so because the SAG driver was right there behind us, they had decided to call it in and tell everybody. So we get to the next rest stop, and of course the guys are asking me about my raccoon incident. Naturally. And then at the next, the same guys, you know, that now is I'm the raccoon girl.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
At by 85, 90 mile mark, I was numb and didn't matter anymore. You just keep moving your legs and you'll end up at the finish line eventually.
But we got to the finish line.
And had some Mission barbecue.
There was plenty of barbecue left.
Delicious.
So we sat and we definitely ate in silence because we were both very hungry. At that point we had spent, well, we left about 7:30 in the morning.
Yep.
We got back at
6:30.
Yeah.
11 hours.
We stopped at every rest stop and spent, you know, 10 minutes or so at each, and then longer at lunch. So, but it was nice.
It was a
day in the saddle.
All day. That's a lot of hours to spend in the saddle. And at that point, I was seriously reconsidering day 2 riding.
Not only considering maybe not do the 50 miles, but
maybe never do a century again. Yeah.
Maybe not do day 2.
That was exhausting. That was an exhausting ride. I think 55 to 70 would have been a more suitable escalation of mileage. So yeah, that was, because around mile 70, I was about done. But at mile 70, you can't quit at mile 70 when you're doing 100, and you just have to keep riding at that point. I mean, I could have gotten a sag, but no.
You could have sagged out.
No, I'm not. See, that's why I didn't. Right there.
What?
You could have sagged out.
You could have sagged out. There's nothing
I'm not
wrong
gonna tap
with
out.
that.
I'm not going to sag out. It's not happening. So it was good. It was fun. And that was day 1. Oh my gosh. I got a full night's sleep, fed.
So welcome to day 2.
Yay!
Doing another 100 miles today?
No.
No?
I think you know better. I mean, 30 miles went by and it was like nothing.
Yeah, so we're on the road, we're going along, and I don't think there were very many people doing the 50 miles that day anyway.
Right.
So we're going, we're having a good time, and I just kind of turned to her, I was like, all right, we're halfway done.
Yeah.
And she was like, no.
We felt like we just started. Yeah. I think we were still the last ones in though.
Yeah, but, so if you look at it.
So we met the same guys the second day, like shutting down.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
So the way the Chesapeake Challenge usually runs is the first day everybody's going out. There's the 100 mile course, 60 some odd mile course, 40, 20, and all of that. And it's a bunch of people. The second day,
not as many people ride the second day.
Maybe half the amount of people are riding, and probably not, maybe a third.
Right.
And I think most of those people are doing the 35 mile. So for us to be the last ones in, doing the longer course,
not bad.
Out of not many people doing the day, let alone doing the longer course, that's a win.
I feel accomplished that I went out and I did a century. I know that's a big milestone in cycling. And it was a big milestone for me. It was challenging, but I did it. Now the next step is to do it faster, I guess, right? Less falls, maybe.
That, you know, well, that should be a challenge with any ride.
Like, fall less often.
Yeah.
So, and that's good. And then the next day do the 50, and I, even though I didn't want to do it the second day cycle, I knew I had to do the second day because we've got RAGBRAI coming up, which I signed up for, which is 7 consecutive days of cycling across the state of Iowa, which I'm totally ready for. Sure, why not? I had to get up and ride day 2 because that's what it's going to be like in RAGBRAI. I have to kind of sort of train for that. I think would be a good idea. It's like tattoos. Like, it really hurts when you get it, but then it's really kind of cool that you have it. So you do it again, and then you're in pain in the moment, but then afterwards you get bragging rights. Overall impression, I really liked it. I really liked that I did it. One, I really liked the charity that we were supporting, but 2, on a personal challenging myself level, I liked it was definitely mentally and physically challenging. There's no doubt about that. And I did it, and it really makes me take a hard look at what I need to do to actually prepare for a 7-day bike ride. And I can't get lazy about it, I can't be slack about it, I've got to make sure I am prepared for something like that.
Yeah.
Which is something I do when I prepare for tournament weekends, or when if I have to play roller derby all weekend or 5 days in a row. That's something you have to really get your rest and your food to make sure that you've got what you need to get through it.
Yeah.
Really well put together ride as far as rides go. I thought they did a really good job. A lot of nice people out on these types of rides too.
A lot of really great, supportive people.
That was good.
All right, so anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thanks for listening to us babble.
And you'll see more of her when we start doing RAGBRAI videos.
RAGBRAI.
That'd be fun.
Another challenge.
That's easy.
Okay. I know, I need a desk like a...
And on that note, the weather.